Hi everyone, my name is Gabriella Ariano, and today I'm going to be presenting my study on Native American women in faculty positions at tribal colleges in North Dakota. Now, prior to presenting my study, I would like to give you a bit of background about myself in education. So to begin with, in 2016, I received my bachelor's degree in business administration with a concentration in marketing from Cal State University, Fullerton, California. That same year, I applied and I was accepted to the University of Mary's master's program of education in curriculum instruction and assessment in North Dakota. And in 2018, I received my North Dakota Educator's Professional License, and I accepted a business and mathematics teaching position at Solon High School on Standing Rock Reservation. That same year, I began the first North Dakota DECA chapter at Solon High School, which is a student leadership business program consisting of high school students that engage in business activities and learn a lot more about their finances. And it's also a nationwide program. And then in 2019, I transitioned from the high school to the college on Standing Rock Reservation. I began working as the information technology specialist instructor and the continuing education coordinator at Sitting Bull College, and I continue to do that today. Also in 2019, I also began the first Geek Oyate Technology Leadership Club at Sitting Bull College, and that continues on today as well. And that same year, I also applied and was accepted to Concordia University St. Paul Doctoral Program of Educational Leadership. So to begin with, the outline that I have for today is I will be discussing my Chapter 1 Introduction, my Chapter 2 Literature Review, and my Chapter 3 Methods and Procedures. So to begin with, Native American women are vastly underrepresented in faculty positions at tribal colleges in the state of North Dakota. There are 5 tribal colleges in North Dakota: Sitting Bull College, Candeska Siena Community College, Turtle Mountain Community College, Nuera Hidatsa Sainish, and the United Technical College. Currently at each tribal college, the average percentage of Native American women holding faculty positions is extremely low, with the average being 23.6%, and with the lowest being 9.5%, and the highest only being 36%. Female students make up the majority of the student population at North Dakota tribal colleges, with an average of 61.26% female students, and the average total student population consists of 87% of students who identify as Native American amongst all 5 colleges, tribal colleges. However, these numbers do not align with faculty demographics. These statistics are not congruent with the percentage of Native American female faculty working at the colleges, and they do not reflect the percentage of student population statistics. This is a major issue for tribal education, given the importance of high female influence on Indigenous women's educational journey to their degree attainment. So the representation of Native American women faculty at tribal colleges reinforces female influence, which is a major factor for Indigenous women's college persistence. Thus, increasing such representation is a matter of urgency and importance. So I do have this table that I'd like everyone to look at. It consists of tribal colleges in North Dakota, female faculty, Native student population, and female student population. And on the left side, you can see we have all 5 tribal colleges listed. Now, if you gear over and you just take a look at the Native women faculty, 9.5% is the percentage of Native faculty working at Candeska Community or Tribal College in Spirit Lake. Comparing this to the percentage of their female student population on the far right, that's 54.32% female students attending, and 88.3% of the total student population is Native American. Going down, looking at Turtle Mountain, 36% of Native women faculty work at this college, and the female student population is 60%. The Native student population is 91%. Going down to Native women faculty at United Tribes, we have 23%, whereas the female student population is 62% and the Native student population is 92%. Further down, we have Nueta Hidatska, 33.3% Native women faculty. Female student population of this college is 67%, almost exactly twice as much. And then the Native population is 70.68%. And then lastly, we have Sitting Bull College, which is 16.22% Native women faculty working at the college, and female student population there is 63%, and Native student population is 93.3%. So just to give you an overview of the statistics of tribal colleges in North Dakota. So the purpose of this study is to highlight the urgent need to increase the number of Native American women who pursue careers in the field of higher education, particularly in faculty positions at tribal colleges in North Dakota. The significance of the study is to understand why there is a shortage of Native American women in faculty positions working at tribal colleges in North Dakota, and to learn best practices to expand the number of Native women attaining faculty careers, particularly in understanding the shared experiences of Native faculty in higher education and how to apply these findings to increase the number of Native women in higher education. There is a need to increase Native students' retention, motivation, and degree attainment. There are benefits of Native American female influence on Native American female students, and the themes that emerge from this study may illuminate strategies that prove beneficial in closing this educational gap and providing the potential to improve Native American women's retention and education, and learning best practices for increasing Native American women working at tribal colleges. So the research questions acquired for this study begin with the first, which is, how do Native American female educators perceive the scarcity of Native American female educators in higher education at a tribal college? Number two, in what ways do Native American female educators recognize experience to identify reasons for the scarcity of Native American female educators in higher education at a tribal college? Number three, in what ways do Native American female educators believe that factors may be causing a shortage of Native American females working at a tribal college, and what are they? And this should say 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3, actually 4 and 5. I apologize. So why do Native American female educators believe Native American female leadership roles are important in higher education at a tribal college? And what led Native American female faculty to pursue careers in higher education at a tribal college? So the Chapter 2 literature review was broken up into 3 bodies of literature, the first being Native American student attendance, degree attainment, motivation, student perspectives, and institutional support. The second being Native American women in educational leadership, particularly Native women's influence on the establishment of culture, higher degree attainment, obligation to the community, and underrepresentation of Native American women in education fields of study. And then the last body of literature is diverse faculty and female faculty and the needs associated with the shortage of faculty of color and gender roles in higher education. The Chapter 3 research methodology study design is phenomenologically informed qualitative research design, and it consists of the collection and analysis of data on 7 Native American women working as faculty members at a tribal college in North Dakota, and drawing on their shared experiences and their journey in higher education. The study ethics are: prior to beginning the study, submitted and approved IRB forms will be sent out. In-person one-on-one interviews will occur, and pursuing ethical practices before, during, and after the data has been collected during the interview process. The procedures and analysis. The procedures will consist of the following. The first is I will identify and contact the administrator in charge to whom it can access and approve to conduct the study through Concordia and through the tribal college in the study. I will submit an IRB approval at the tribal college where the research will be conducted. Once the IRB is approved, I will schedule a date and time to meet with each participant and review the purpose of the study as present and collect consent forms that are signed and approved. In addition, I will inform the participants about the interview process. I will then schedule separate dates and times to conduct the interviews with each participant. Once all of the interviews have been conducted, I will analyze the data and outline all of the emerging themes that are determined from the data. Now, once the data is collected, the data will be kept in a computer with 2 backup copies required and 2 security passcodes to access, and only I will have access to this confidential information that will all be coded. The analysis will consist of combining the themes and shared experiences into categories and answering the research questions. So once the questions have been answered and the themes are organized, I will transcribe them into my findings chapter. Okay, and that is all I have today. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please call or email me, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much.